Alamance County Board of Elections for February 10th, 2026. And it looks like we only have our friend Peter Shea.
And all I have to do is say I love this weapon.
Agreed. That will be at least my response to comment, Peter. So with that in mind, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And has everybody had a chance to review the February 3rd minutes? Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And so that will move us back to the core purpose, absentee ballots.
All right. So today's meeting, we only have 15 civilians. That's it. No military or overseas today. So your overall total numbers since the first day of mailing them out, which was January 12th, civilian mailed is 227. Military overseas mailed is 14. 0 cured letters have been sent out. Civilian return total is 27. Military overseas return total is 6. And no cure letters because none have been mailed out for that. So with 15 is 2 good enough for your 10%?
2 words.
Yeah, I can't do 1.5. So
Take one, just cover half of it up. And we just click on it.
just split the difference. And again, because these are civilian, you're looking to make sure that the voter signed and that the signature is substantially similar to the name at the top of the label. You're looking to see if their 2 witnesses printed their name, signed their name, and printed their address. If there is not 2 witnesses, you're making sure that they have 1 notary seal and stamp on there.
Are they supposed to have a real ID for the mail?
No, real ID is not a requirement
Right.
unless you want to fly. And then you had to pay $45, I believe.
For what?
I gotta get my.
Yeah, they're enacting a $45 fee if you don't have the real ID to fly now.
Oh, fly. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay. I thought when you said fly, I thought, okay.
And Peter,
Yeah.
if you want to email me, I'll give you the totals from last week and this week. I didn't forget. I just couldn't find your email address. I was like,
I will send it to you. Sorry, Gary. Okay.
Thanks. Thank you.
All right, is there a motion to accept and approve this week's absentee ballot?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And does anyone else have any additional business?
I have 2 points of business. The first one is we need a chief judge for O3C, either party. So O3C is Central Boone, and that is Trinity Worship Center. So we are desperately looking for one. We have a phone call out to one individual, but have not heard back as of this meeting. So if you can get the word out for either party, if they have somebody who would like to work O3C, that would be amazing. And
That's the chief.
as the chief, yeah, as the chief judge. So,
Anybody that can move them somewhere else, and we find somebody to fill that spot, like as a regular judge somewhere that could
I-
Willing to become a chief.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think we're trying to keep the chief judges and judges within that
Within that
precinct.
precinct,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think they've asked the assistants
And they,
and I think they just flat out refuse. I don't think they want it.
I'll reach out to Brad.
Okay.
Ron.
Okay, great. And then the second one, Gary flagged me in the hallway. You're going to notice a letter in your packet. So the State Board of Elections has mailed out these letters in regards to the registration repair. And they're coming in an envelope that looks like this, and it's with the State Board of North Carolina seal and their address. And they are enclosing a self-addressed stamped envelope for the return mailer. And it's going to the State Board of Elections as opposed to us. However, the letter that they are printing has each individual county's letterhead. So it's kind of conflicting as to who's sending this out. And the way it reads, and the people that have been coming in, the voters that have been coming in, have been fairly irate because the way it reads is they're not on the voter records and they will not be able to vote. So we're trying to explain to them that this is because of that registration repair. We just need either the driver's license number or the social in order to validate them. And once we get that information, they'll be compliant with that new law that changed in 2024, where we need one of those two identifying numbers. So we had quite a few calls yesterday, late afternoon. Today, if you notice, Lucy and Sandra are down up front because that's been the bulk of people coming in here today, has been in regards to this one letter.
I think
So-
that is how it's coming up here.
Yes,
Person is
yes.
coming in with-
And unfortunately, it is hitting my senior population for those demographics because those individuals, they registered when they were 18 or shortly thereafter, and it was not a law. You know, I had one gentleman call in, he was 97 years old, and he's like, I've been voting since I was like, I get it. I'm sorry. I have to have it. And so if they don't fill one of these out, they might be one of those potential provisional ballots on election day. So we're trying to hedge that off so we can keep provisional numbers low, keep us compliant with the registration repair, and also make it easier on the voter going to vote where they don't have to spend a lot of time doing paperwork.
So it'll need to go to that address.
If they can get it to us, that would be great. If they don't want to spend the stamp, then yes, send it to Raleigh. And then what Raleigh's going to do is they're going to parse it out to us. They'll electronically send it to us in an internal data batch, and then they'll FedEx us the actual hard copies for our records.
They can bring it here.
Yeah.
get to the Senate.
Yes, yeah. And a lot of people have been coming here because one, this is what it looks like. It looks like every piece of junk mail that you get in your mailbox right now. And then when you open it and read it, it does sound kind of intimidating. It does kind of sound not real. And then you're wanting me to give you my driver's license number, my date of birth, my last four, my social, and a signature. So a lot of these individuals have been coming in to drop it off in person just because they feel safer doing so.
Sure.
And they need to provide either the social security last for the social security or the driver's.
Correct. We've been asking for both only because if one doesn't validate, we've got that backup to validate. And if they only provide us, let's say, their driver's license number, and they had two number ones next to each other and only wrote one down, that number is not going to validate. So it's going to prompt another letter to go out.
Mhm.
Or if they don't receive that letter in time and come to vote either early voting or on election day, that's your potential provisional at that point.
Is it a real ID, North Carolina driver's license?
No, it is just your standard driver's license. So that first one is going to be date of birth. The second one should be your NCDL for your North Carolina driver's license number. The second one is an NCID number. So that is a non-operator's identification card. So for those individuals who cannot get a driver's license or are not permitted to get a driver's license, but would like a photo ID that resembles a true ID from the DMV, that's what they can get in place.
And this letter is going to all of those who need to have their information updated. It's not going to all voters.
That is correct. So I believe because of the influx at all 100 counties, a lot of help desk or help request notifications have been sent to the state. I believe the state just sent out maybe a public response on their website and on their socials. And I believe the number is 218,000 individuals in North Carolina will be receiving this information. Yeah. And so that information, I believe, should be on the State Board of Elections website. Like I said, I think they did a press release just a few moments ago in regards to that. So if you have anybody at your party or neighborhoods, friends, family, relatives, or whoever are calling, inquiring, yes, it is legit. Yes, we truly need this information. Not only does it, like I said, make us compliant with having this information attached to their voter profile, it also makes sure that when they do present to vote, it is the least issue with them. They can just go in, state their name and address, boom, there you go. There's no red flags on their label or at early voting where they're going to be prompted to either add additional information or vote that provisional. They get a regular ballot, they go through the tabulator, and they're done.
So if they have not sent this in, are they just going to be asked for that information there?
Yeah, so let's say they didn't get this letter in time or didn't return it back to us in time and they choose to go early voting on that first day. If they don't have one of these identifier, a pop-up's going to come up and it's going to prompt the check-in assistant to ask for one of those two pieces of information. And I believe, I haven't gone through the training because I've been doing other things. I believe that they put that information in and it automatically validates at that point in time. So if there is an issue, it should catch it. And if not, it'll validate it, push it through the system, and they'll be good. Now, if they
So those people at early voting, they do that. Their ballot's fine, just as it would be same day registrants. And
Exactly. So it'll catch it, they'll push it through, they're able to vote a regular ballot, go through the tabulator unless there's something else hindering them from voting that way. If they make it all the way through election day and they have not made this information or given it to us, their label is going to be flagged. So, and what I mean by flagged is when you get your label, it has your name, your address, your voter registration number, your ballot, a style that's associated with your party affiliation. And then if it has any special circumstances, so it'll say ID required, verify address. And now we've got two additional prompts, and that is DLSSN requested and then DLSSN provisional required. So if it has provisional required, they absolutely have to vote a provisional ballot. If it says requested, that voter, as long as they give us that information, they're allowed to vote a regular ballot and go through the tabulator.
Well, do they have to present the document? So, like most people, I would assume, would have a driver's license. So if they go through and it says you need the information, they have to show their license, or if they just knew what that number was.
Right.
So would I just be able to give them the last four of my social if I wasn't
Yes,
verified?
you don't have to. Yeah, you don't have to
To
give
show
them your.
them the
Yeah,
card.
you don't have to give them your social security card.
And it just validates it.
Right, because what we do in our system is, like I said, we check and validate through the NCDMV and through the SSA.
So it will, but when they go through, if they just gave a random number, does the computer just automatically do it so they can go, and then later on they find out, oh, that number's not matching, or is it matching it on the spot?
I believe it matches on the spot. I think they've actually got it where it's sort of like when we do our voter registration applications, it'll auto validate. It might have a few second delay, but it should be able to have a prompt up on there. I believe that's correct.
Sounds like it's made Judson's training super fun.
Not Judson. He is strictly tabulator. So the ones who have had to deal with that have been Tina, Dawn, and myself. So
You can verify it's been super fun.
yeah, and it's very confusing. So because before it was, oh, you don't have a photo ID, straight provisional. Now it's, oh, you don't have an ID, but here are 3 different avenues you could go down depending on which path you choose is going to determine which way you go and what that
It's all
label
gonna be
says.
simpler. So
Yeah.
it's not-
So fingers crossed we get a majority of our back. And in regards to the registration repair specifically to Alamance, I think when it first started last summer, we were just shy of 12,000 voters who were impacted with that. And prior to this mailing going out, I think Karen, before she left, had got it down to just around 850,000. 850. So it was a good chunk, but still a lot more we're missing. So we're trying to close that gap for sure.
Be interested to see how many we get like that going through during early voting.
Yes, yes. And so, like I said, Dawn and Tina have been training specifically with early voting, and then I primarily just do election day training, and I do the provisional training as
At
well.
least they don't get turned down when they go to vote. They can at least-
Correct,
They
correct.
can at least put the, if they don't send this in, because I agree, you'd be kind of like, I would be concerned about it.
Yeah.
I would just want to make sure it's legitimate.
Absolutely. And like I said, we know when it's coming in a plain white envelope like this, and then you have the return envelope that looks like every other, Geico insurance quote. Exactly. I wouldn't, like I said, so we've been fielding a lot of phone calls today. And once we tell them, yes, it's legitimate, and a lot of them just feel safer coming down to turn that information in, which I understand.
Makes perfect sense,
Yeah.
because it definitely looks like super sketchy.
Yes. And a couple of people have been very nice and understanding as to why we're doing it. And we tell them it's not from us. We did not generate this, and it's like, well, your address is like, yes, I know, but it truly was not us. Trust me. So, and that is all I have for y'all.
Well, does anybody else have any additional based off of that? All right, then is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. We are adjourned.
All right.
I'm gonna go enjoy the nice weather and